Cinemassacre's Monster Madness.
Second in the Gamera franchise, the series makes the jump to color with Gamera vs. Barugan. Just like many of the Godzilla films, it had two titles. It's also known as War of the Monsters. Why would they try to hide the fact that it's a Gamera movie? Taking Gamera out of the title is just as idiotic as when they changed Godzilla Raids Again to Gigantus the Fire Monster. Also, like the second Godzilla film, it's the first where Gamera fights another monster. I don't mean to keep connecting it to Godzilla, but the similarities are endless. Also, the monster that Gamera fights is a complete ripoff of Baragon, a creature from the Godzilla universe who was first featured in Frankenstein Conquers the World, also known as Frankenstein vs. Baragon. I mean, come on, Baragon and Barugon? Well, one thing original here is that Barugon shoots deadly rainbows. You know what? I can accept a jet-powered turtle that spins like a fan, but shooting deadly rainbows, that's just stupid. With two monsters on its hands, this movie surprisingly takes a while to get things going. The plot focuses a little more on the human characters, for better or for worse. The rocket that was carrying Gamera to Mars got hit by an asteroid. Gamera, now free, heads back to Earth. Meanwhile, a group of treasure seekers go into a jungle region to find a rare gem in a cave. The natives warn them to stay away from the cave because it's in the dangerous Valley of Rainbows. Ooh. First they have to fight their way past the natives, then encounter quicksand, and finally reach the cave. During this time, it's more like an adventure movie. They find the gem, but one of them is a greedy bastard who allows the rest of the group to die. He gets away with the gem, but the one last survivor left in the cave gets nursed back to health by the natives, who explain to him why it's so bad that the gem was removed. To make a long story short, the gem is an egg that hatches the monster Barugon. Barugon begins tearing shit up at roughly the 40-minute mark. Boom! Boom! Barugon can also use his tongue as a weapon. Then we go back to the asshole who let his friends die, who gets accused of murdering, and this escalates into a big domestic violence scene. Then we're back to more Barugon destruction and learn he can freeze things too. This creature gets more interesting all the time. Then at roughly the 55-minute mark, Gamera finally shows up again to fight Barugon. It's not clear that Gamera is a full-blown hero yet. He's just there to claim his territory. It's the same concept as when Godzilla fought Anguirus. They were like two animals acting out their natural instincts. In fact, it's exactly like this scene, especially with the pagoda in between them. The fight moves kinda slow. The monsters spend a lot of time sizing each other up. Barugon freezes Gamera, and Gamera retaliates by cutting Barugon, who bleeds purple. Gamera is frozen for a while, so the movie once again focuses on Barugon and the humans who are having their own fight. The survivor from the cave-in meets his murderous friend, and they duke it out. It's actually more exciting than the monster fights. Then there's the age-old scenes talking about how to stop Barugon. They try to lure him into a lake with a diamond. But our favorite asshole shows up to steal the diamond just as they're acting out their plan. Great timing, dickhead. And then he's deservingly killed by Barugon. It always makes these movies more interesting when we have a human villain. Then there's a bunch more military scenes. They come up with another plan to deflect Barugon's rainbow back at him. It sort of works, but Barugon learns by his mistake and doesn't fire any more rainbows. Smart monster. With nothing left to do, Gamera shows up for the rematch, and the two monsters fight it out to the end. Whew. Well, that's the movie. How does it hold up? Well, it depends which way you look at it. For me, personally, I think it's one of my least favorites. The reason is because from this point on, the series got even crazier. I was introduced to Gamera through Mystery Science Theater 3000, and I've come to recognize the series for its comical elements, insane-looking monsters, ridiculous special effects, and off-the-wall fight scenes. With the exception of the deadly rainbow, Gamera vs. Barugan is more grounded. It's a little more typical for a monster movie. I prefer the Gamera movies when they're wacky as hell, but if you like the human elements and having a more sound plot, this one holds itself together pretty well. So you can view it as one of the best or one of the worst.